The Republican Party of Sarasota County is calling for the resignation of Florida GOP.
Sarasota County School Board members are now calling for Bridget Ziegler to step down after she admitted to police.
Some people view politics as a service to others, while some view it as an opportunity for themselves. On this board,
or in Florida. And Ms. Ziegler, I hold you personally accountable for that.
They say practice what you preach, but it seems like someone's been skipping their own sermons. Bridget Ziegler. For those who don't know her yet, Bridget's a co-founder of Moms for Liberty, a group known for its strong stance against LGBTQ+ rights in schools. They've been actively lobbying to remove books and teachings about the LGBT topics from classrooms across the country. Bridget was also a key figure behind Florida's controversial Don't Say Gay bill, which limits discussions on LGBT issues in schools. For example, as her term as the Sarasota School Board chair came to a close, Bridget took to Facebook to highlight her accomplishments. These included significant policy changes like terminating gender diverse guidelines, eliminating the equity committee, and removing equity policy and positions. Her actions clearly show a commitment to shaping the educational landscape around her personal conservative viewpoints. But here's where it gets interesting. Bridget recently revealed that she's been involved in a threesome with another woman and her husband. And even more, despite publicly campaigning against LGBT rights, her private life tells a completely different story. A classic tale of doing one thing and saying another.
Opposed to LGBTQ plus rights when it turns out you're actually the B in that LGBTQ plus.
And it got me thinking, why do those publicly condemning certain lifestyles often find themselves entangled in those exact lifestyles? Is it a case of hidden desires or just coincidental hypocrisy? Let's dive in. So I want to start off by getting into the background of Bridget. She originally moved from Michigan to Florida at the age of 12, and then eventually she hit her college years where she found herself at Florida International University. There, she pursued finance and marketing. However, her career took an unexpected turn as she left academia to make her mark in the fashion industry. Now, I can't find much about her career in fashion, but it's clear that she likes to seize opportunities, sort of like an opportunist. In 2008, at a political event, Bridget met her future husband and current Florida GOP chairman, Christian Ziegler. Sparks flew and they married in 2010, setting the stage for their ascent as one of Florida's Republican power couples. Fast forward to 2014, when Florida Governor Rick Scott plucked Bridget from obscurity, appointing her to a vacancy on the Sarasota County School Board. She won the hearts and votes of the public in 2014, 2018, and 2022, securing her spot on the board with each election. And of course, the backing of none other than today's governor, Ron DeSantis.
Who's ready to take back their school board so that we get rid of...
Bridget's influence continued to grow. She became a prominent speaker at Moms for Liberty conferences and took on a vital role as a vice president at the Leadership Institute, an organization dedicated to training conservatives for political roles. Sounds like a real hoot if I've ever seen one. This position put her at the forefront of shaping conservative politics, a role that didn't go unnoticed. Governor DeSantis lavished praise on her, suggesting her influence should be extended to every county.
Who thinks Ron DeSantis is doing a good job?
So let's quickly touch on Moms for Liberty, an organization that was started on the 1st of January 2021, which kind of sounds like a pretty weird New Year's Day goal, with Bridget co-founding the group along with a group of former school board members. However, Bridget had left the group by spring 2021, but had left a pretty big mark. So what's this Moms for Liberty about? Imagine a group that makes the PTA look like a knitting club. They're a conservative political organization that's about as subtle about their agenda as a bull in a china shop. And all these moms are smoking hot, decked out in Botox and injections, and they get super angry and I imagine pretty turned on thinking about how much they hate woke people. All of these women seem perfect for the role of Trump's next press secretary, and they aren't shy about where they stand on big issues. They don't agree with Black Lives Matter being talked about in school, and they were totally against wearing masks when COVID-19 was at its worst. They are a hot mess of a walking contradiction. Picture meeting Courtney Cox while she's handing out Don't Say Gay pamphlets at the local Chick-fil-A, who also happens to solicit your wife to have some kind of strange lesbian scissor sex. Moms for Liberty wants to fix the ills of modern education, aligning closely with conservative values and the Republican Party, despite their claims of being nonpartisan. In other words, Moms for Liberty, this nonpartisan group, has ties to the GOP that are tighter than Chris Farley's jacket when he's goofing on David Spade.
Take it off, dickhead, I'm serious.
Richard, what's happening? Now let's quickly touch on those allegations of sexual misconduct. It all started with a police investigation into an unnamed longtime associate's accusation of rape against Bridget's husband, Christian. Now, this isn't just any old accusation. This involves a consensual three-way relationship with the Zieglers that apparently went south. On October 3rd, the day of the alleged assault, the third party tried to call off the encounter because Bridget wouldn't be a part of it. Christian, her husband, is also alleged to have secretly videotaped the sexual encounters between the couple and the woman. Now, if there was ever a sex tape that Gawker needs to get their hands on, I think that this is it. Florida Democrat Party Chair Nikki Fried chimed in, calling the situation hypocritical, especially given Ziegler's track record of attacking anything that doesn't align with her personal version of family values. And of course, everyone is having a field day down at Sarasota Town Hall.
It's always the ones with the dirty hands that are pointing the fingers, isn't it? Mrs. Ziegler, every time you want to wallow in self-pity and feign victimhood, just remember that you can't complain that it's raining when you're the one who created the storm.
Irony thicker than Florida humidity. Police records, including Instagram conversations and phone calls, have been dug up as part of the investigation. Christian's attorney is adamant that his client will be exonerated, but the court of public opinion is having a field day. State Representative Spencer Roach described the situation as a body blow to the Republican Party, and many are calling for Christian's resignation. Now, since the scandal broke, the Zieglers have become the talk of the town, and not in a good way.
She is Sarasota's George Santos. She turned our town into a laughingstock. If Bridget really did listen and did care, she would resign.
Leave the Honorable George Santos out of this, okay? Christian, facing allegations of rape and a menage a trois gone wrong, has refused to step down from his post. However, the Florida Republicans weren't having any of it. They voted to strip him of his power, reducing his salary to a symbolic $1. A meeting is on the calendar to possibly give him the boot for good. Now, what about Bridget? Well, she stepped down from her vice president role at the Leadership Institute, but remains on the school board. And in the Ziegler's own district, the impact of their actions is palpable. The Don't Say Gay law has left LGBT students feeling invisible and fearful. So while the Zieglers are embroiled in the scandal, the policies they pushed are continuing to affect real lives. Bridget acknowledges their past consensual relationship with the third party, but isn't named in the affidavit. Her group, Moms for Liberty, still stand with her. It's like a particularly bizarre episode of Cougar Town, but unlike Cougar Town, it's actually funny.
Oh, to hell with it.
Hey, kid! Ow!
So let's wrap it up. A number of Sarasota mothers and teachers have pointed out that thanks to the Ziegler scandal and all the chatter it sparked, elementary school kids are now getting an unexpected education in what threesomes and swinging mean. And the irony doesn't stop with Bridget. It makes you pause and wonder, doesn't it? The ones shouting the loudest against the LGBT community are often the ones secretly enjoying what they condemn. Remember Senator Larry Craig?
Let me be clear. I am not gay. I never have been gay.
Craig was a vocal opponent of gay rights, staunchly maintaining his straight identity. But it turns out that this Idaho Republican had a secret hobby, soliciting sex from men in, of all places, public bathrooms. If that's not a walking, talking example of hypocrisy, I don't know what is. At the end of the day, Bridget is an opportunist. She's feeding off the anti-woke mob that drives reasonable people nuts. And I think when it comes to woke people, the worst ones are the ones who are prepared to be offended by anything when it gets them a soundbite for their own personal gain.
Poverty is sexist.
So when we see people like Bridget or someone on the left acting offended about, well, pretty much anything, we have to remind ourselves that their demons probably run pretty deep. Their sociopathic tendencies are on full display. Unfortunately, these are the kind of people who are going to get clicks on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, not the reasonable people saying reasonable things. So get ready, world. The Bridgets of this world are only going to become more and more common. And if you are a clear, logical, reasonable thinking person, well, you're probably going to be ignored. Because that, my friends, is how the algorithms work. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. If you could do me a big favor, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Let me know what you think in the comment section. So guys, we just recently launched this channel and we noticed that 99.9% of our viewers are not subscribed. So if you enjoyed this video, we need your help in growing this channel. By subscribing, that would help us keep the lights on and make sure that our crews have jobs in these uncertain times. So please hit that subscribe button and we promise to make more quality videos that I'm sure you're going to love.